the living youth stage. Charlie Woods wasn't walking alone. A massive gallery trailed him. Parents, juniors, fans, and cameras forming a moving wall of expectation. Dozens of reporters lined the ropes, every lens trained on a teenager chasing history. And among them, inside the fairway, stood Tiger Woods, hat low, arms crossed. Silent Dan. One needed reminding. This wasn't just any junior golfer. This was his son. Charlie had earned this moment. Just weeks earlier, he'd pulled off a gritty AA victory that turned heads across junior golf. Then came Coral Springs, a brutal 3-for-1 playoff, where he drained a clutch birdie to claim the final U.S. junior qualifying spot. It wasn't given. It was taken. With nerves of steel. By the time he teed it up in Dallas, the buzz was deafening. Golf Monthly called him a dangerous wild card. NBC analysts said his form had matured beyond his years. Every camera pointed his way. Every swing was a headline waiting to happen for Charlie. This was both a dream and a test. As he stepped to the first tee, eyes locked forward, Tiger trailing just steps behind. The tone was unmistakable. He wasn't here to be watched. He was here to compete. The walk, the demeanor, the calm, everything looked perfect. All the ingredients for something special. But no one, not even Tiger, could have predicted what came next. By mid-morning on July 21st, the buzz had turned to stunned silence. Charlie Woods, after months of steady progress, highlight reels, and growing hype, opened his U.S. Junior Amateur campaign with a shocking 81, 11 over par. From contender to long shot in just 18 holes, it didn't take long for the wheels to wobble. From the very first tee, Charlie couldn't find a fairway. Off the driver, he was uncharacteristically wild, balls leaking left, pushed right, or swallowed by the thick, rough .2 doubles. A string of bogeys, the round balloon before he could settle in. What started as a nervous stumble turned into a full-blown slide. Golf Monthly didn't mince words. An uphill task before day 2 even begins. There was no sugarcoating this one. By the 5th hole, the energy around the gallery had shifted. The cheers faded to whispers. Phones came down. Cameras pointed less often. Everyone was still watching, but now with concern, not curiosity. On the back 9, there was a flicker of fight. Charlie rolled in 2 birdies, including a smooth 12-foot putt on the par 3 13th. But by then, the damage had been done. The rhythm never returned. The confidence didn't resurface. 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and what made it harder to ignore wasn't just Charlie's body language, it was Tiger's. The crossed arms, the deep stare, the quiet frustration of a father who's been there and knows exactly what that pain feels like. As reported by Yahoo Sports, the defining visual was simple and unforgettable. Charlie glanced up at Tiger, then back down again. A quiet, heavy moment. No words, just a shared realization that things were slipping away. He walked off the 18th green without a wave, without a smile, just a slow, solitary walk back to the clubhouse. Cap pulled low. A round that began with anticipation ended in near silence. This wasn't just a rough day. It was a full-on unraveling. It's one thing to watch a bad round unfold. It's another to see the numbers after and understand just how brutal it really was. According to NBC Sports and WFAA, Charlie Woods recorded one of the worst statistical performances of the entire opening day at Trinity Forest. Start with the driver. He hit just 3 of 14 fairways, among the lowest in the field. And in a championship setup like this, starting every hole from the rough, or worse, means you're already fighting uphill. The fairway stats alone told the story of a round that never got started. And it didn't get any better around the greens. Scrambling, the art of saving par, after missing a green, was virtually non-existent. Missed chips, burned edges, lost confidence. Every recovery felt like quicksand. Time after time, Charlie missed his mark, and then compounded each mistake. That a mishit approach was followed by a heavy chip. A short putt lipped out. The momentum just never came. His scrambling percentage hovered in the danger zone, turning simple bogeys into doubles and planting doubt with every missed save. Then came the flat stick, the coldest part of his game that day. Charlie averaged a full stroke more per hole than the field's median. On fast, unforgiving greens like these, that gap is the difference between survival and collapse. NBC Sports noted that he tallied 35 total putts, while most players near the cut line were closer to 28 or fewer. And then, the momentum killers for double bogeys. They didn't just wreck the scorecard. They shattered any rhythm he tried to build. Each time it looked like he might steady himself, another big number dragged him back down the leaderboard. By the end of the round, Charlie Woods sat 12 shots behind the projected +2 cut line for match. Play point 12 did a staggering margin that told the story better than any headline could. That's not a stumble. It's a collapsed by the numbers. Charlie didn't just struggle, he was outclassed. And with every swing, the cut line drifted further away. As Charlie Woods stepped off the 18th green at Trinity Forest, the cameras didn't linger on him for long. They shifted instinctively to the man following a few paces behind, Tiger Woods, hat low, arms crossed, eyes fixed straight ahead. No words, no reaction. Throughout the round, Tiger had walked every step inside the ropes. But what stood out wasn't his presence. It was his silence. In previous events, we've seen him crouch beside Charlie, offer tips, share fist bumps, even the occasional laugh. But not this time. This time, there were no pep talks, no whispered encouragements, just the faint murmur of the gallery and the sound of cleats crunching on Bermuda grass. Multiple reporters caught the moment. Yahoo Sports described Tiger as visibly tense but composed. Golf Monthly noted his expression never changed, even after Charlie's fourth double bogey. That stillness, that unreadable calm, said more than any words could. And maybe that's what made it all feel heavier. For once, this wasn't just about a young golfer struggling under pressure. It was about what the moment symbolized, a generational torch flickering in the wind. The greatest golfer of his era, watching his son falter in front of the world, not as a coach, not as a cheerleader, just watching. Commentators began to wonder if the pressure had finally begun cutting both ways. Tiger has done everything to protect Charlie from the weight of expectation. But how do you escape a name like Woods when it's stitched across your bag and walking 3 feet behind you every step of the way? And Charlie, he knew. After every bogey, he glanced back, just for a moment, toward his father. A look, not of panic, but of uncertainty, as if asking silently, "What now?" Sometimes silence says more than any outburst ever could. Day 2 at Trinity Forest brought clearer skies, lighter winds, and one last shot at redemption for Charlie Woods. And to his credit, he came out swinging. His second round, a 74+3, was tighter, steadier, more composed. The wild double bogeys were gone, his body language firmer. But in the unforgiving world of championship golf, improvement doesn't always mean survival. The final tally, +14 across 2 days. Charlie missed the cut by a staggering 12 shots that NBC Sports called it one of the most high-profile exits of the week. Not just because of his last name, but because so many believed his game was finally ready to speak for itself. That belief wasn't hype. It came from what he'd already done. The clutch Coral Springs playoff, the ADA victory, the birdie under pressure that showed poise beyond his years. That was the Charlie Woods the golf world hoped to see, focused, fearless, free. Instead, they saw a player still learning what it means to carry the heaviest last name in golf. And make no mistake, the spotlight isn't going anywhere. Every round he plays, every swing he takes will be recorded, analyzed, dissected. He doesn't just carry clubs, that he carries a legacy. That's not a fair burden for any 15-year-old. But it's his reality. Still, there's something in that second round 74. A glimpse of grit, of growth, of quiet resilience. Because greatness isn't built in highlight reels, it's built in recoveries, in setbacks, in silence. Was this the making of a champion? Or the start of a brutal reality check? Either way, Charlie's story is only beginning. Every step, every swing, every heartbreak, being watched from just a few yards away. Tiger Woods, stoic, silent, unblinking, the GOAT, standing guard over his son's hardest lesson yet. Charlie Woods, round 1. The silence that roared. Charlie sat at +11, 9 shots off the cut line with 1 round left to play. Could he climb back? The math said no. But in golf, pride is everything. And right now, he was playing for more than a score. With every swing, that cut line didn't just slip away. It vanished over the horizon. And as he walked to the 10th tee, the cameras caught a familiar silhouette in the crowd. Tiger Woods, cap pulled low, arms crossed, eyes locked. No smile. No nod. No fist pump. Just silence. FP and Yahoo Sports captured the image perfectly. The moment that said everything without a word. This wasn't the proud, animated tiger we'd seen at the PNC Championship or past junior events, where he'd kneel to read putts, whisper advice, or offer a reassuring tap on the shoulder. This tiger looked like a statue, unmoving, unreadable, watching each shot like it carried the full weight of the family name. And in a way, it did. Charlie noticed it too. After a flared drive, a pulled putt, another double bogey, he glanced toward the rope line, toward his dad. But Tiger never moved. Not even a head tilt. Just that cold, focused stare under the Nike cap, and that silence. It roared louder than any gallery cheer that I in the past. Tiger had been everything. Caddy, coach, hype man all in one, but now, on the biggest stage of Charlie's young career, he stood back. Was it by design, a lesson in independence, or was Tiger feeling the weight too? Golf Monthly and WFA both noted how unusual it was to see Tiger so visibly distant. Analysts wondered, was he frustrated, shielding emotion, or simply letting his son learn the hardest truth in golf? No one can save you from your own game. Make no mistake, this wasn't just another rough round. It was a gut punch, the kind every young golfer fears. And to have your father, the greatest to ever do it, watching silently from the ropes. It wasn't anger. It wasn't disappointment. It was something deeper. Because sometimes silence says everything. The scorecard didn't lie. 81. Tied for 242nd out of 264 at the projected cut line. At least 9 shots ahead. And now, all eyes were on round 2. Because for Charlie Woods, it wasn't about winning anymore. It was about proving he could rise again.